So we have it on Dust 2. Vitality managed to do it in a rather convincing fashion. It was a 16-9 scoreline, and it was RPK. Maniac crowned him as one of the best long players there is, and he definitely showed us why. But ZywOo was back in good shape, and Heroic, well, they just couldn't handle it. It was far too impressive from the French side, but now they need to bring it up in Vertigo, which is coming up next. They managed to push us to a decider, but it's all about sealing the deal. And Pip, we got to say, although we questioned it, we've seen so many up and down results from Vitality on this. This Dust 2 was more like them. They were showing why they are the real tier 1 team here.
Yeah, there was a very strong performance coming in from Vitality. I think you nailed it when you said RPK. He had a great game, especially considering, he's that type of player that when you watch him, when he's having a good game, you think to yourself, why is he not one of the best players in the world? I think Maniac can maybe attest to this as well. When RPK is feeling it, when RPK is looking good on the server, you think to yourself, he makes it look so easy. That combined with ZywOo having one of those games, there wasn't really a lot of chances for Heroic right here. Dust 2 is a map where you can have a game plan, but if you can't get the kills, it doesn't matter. It's still a very open map where a lot of duels can take place, and we saw ZywOo and RPK over and over again win those duels. So good display right here from Vitality. Bounce well for a third map here on Vertigo.
And Maniac, we got to talk about some classic Shoxy coming out here, right?
Yeah, we have to. You know my love for clutches, and I actually asked production if we could have the clip once more, because the 1v3 from Clutch was, from Shox, it was so classical. If we can roll the clip, just the way he plays it, his ability to just single angle peek and be covered by, oh, look at this, the way he's moving, not getting shot by Catwalk, then that duel here, again, he's safe, and he's just dancing around, just closing all the angles, micro peeking, jiggle peeking. The Molotov is down, 8-second fake, goes on the bomb plant, and Nico has nothing to do. If you ever were to ask me, hey Maniac, how does Shox play his clutches? That's one of the clips I'll show you right here. Singling the angles, jiggle peeking, deciding where to peek, when to peek, creating 1v1s out of a 1v3. That was classic Shox.
And that's something money can't buy, right? You can talk about him having up and down performances and whatever else, but it's the experience that a player like Shox has, where he can just read those situations and knows how it's all going down. But what we don't know how it's going down is Vertigo, because Vertigo recently has looked so good here for the Vitality side. I think Heroic might be thinking, okay, this is really the tough game now. This is the real chance here, because we've had 2 games where it looked very convincing from both sides, but now we get on to the real test for Heroic here, because I think Vitality are seriously favored.
But it is a perfect map, right, to set up this real test for Heroic, because when you look towards Heroic's result on a map like Vertigo, they won 16-8 against Hard Legion, 16-7 against Nordavind, and 16-4 against North. Not the best of a position, right, but still decent enough teams that you could say, okay, Heroic, they can play Vertigo. This will be the very first time, apart from a G2 loss, where they'll get tested against a tier 1 team on the map of Vertigo. And as you said, James, Vitality, as of lately, have been playing some stellar Counter-Strike on Vertigo. So if you wanted to set up this whole storyline and follow through the whole storyline of Heroic being tested against a tier 1 team, Vertigo is the perfect map to round off the series.
And when I saw Vitality start to play into Vertigo, played a lot more as well, I was actually thinking, this is really like a Vitality map thing to get it going. Well, we saw it just recently. ZywOo looks so comfortable on it, and it's a map where a lot of AWPers struggle to find success.
Yeah, I mean, he just takes over the A ramp, and he has Apex with him, which also I think we should give credit to, because he's creating so much space for ZywOo to actually have these angles, to peek at the right time, the smoke, the flash. Apex is probably going to do everything he can just to create some space. And then you have Misuta as well, which is doing, I think, a great job middle. And then on the B side, if you want to pay attention to it, the team play between Shox and RPK is actually quite good. You will see Shox throwing flashes for RPK. He'll be playing that first box, peeking on angles whenever. And I just wanted to echo Jacob's sentiment. When RPK is playing well, the simplicity he has in his game makes it look like this is just Counter-Strike. That's how it's supposed to be. Goes in, shoots in your face, goes in and shoots again. It's just, whenever it works, it just looks so simple.
He makes it look oh so natural, oh so simple. But this game won't be simple for either side. I am sure it's going to be testing all the way through, but we're going to have to see how it goes down after this break. It's time for Vertigo. It's time for the decider. Stick with us, because we'll be back soon with the game.
And this series goes the distance, so we are going to find ourselves on Vertigo up next. A little delay before it starts. We need a PC restart. So, Launders, why don't you tell me how your day's been?
My day, well, I turned my oven to preheat so I can make some chicken thighs after this. So it really hasn't gotten started. Had some oatmeal with lots of berries in it, dark berries, blueberries, raspberries, almonds, honey. And so, yeah, I started my day off right, I'd say. A little bit of meditation. How about you?
About the same things. Yeah, I know. Had some crepes for breakfast. Sat in the sun for an hour before this BO3 got started. Just trying to enjoy the weather, and then now it's time to digest from Counter-Strike. So I'll shift this question. How do you feel about Vertigo after watching Mirage and Dust 2?
Well, now that we're on map 3, Vertigo is a lot less likely, of course, for Heroic. Very good win percentage on Dust 2. Couldn't pull it together, and the stars are shining for Vitality. And just as pointed out, I think, by Maniac and Pimp, ZywOo on A ramp is what it's all about. This map is still very much about the A ramp, and the way that the top oppers play it, Device, Kenny S, ZywOo, they control the A ramp, they win the game this way. And basically most of the time we'll be watching ZywOo and Apex work together on the A ramp to get rounds both on the T and CT side. If they can deny people from pushing, or if they can deny people from pushing on both sides, you'll literally win the game. I mean, it's that simple. You can't have your entire strategy based around the B site, and on the A rounds, like it's really about ZywOo, and he's like one of the best right now. So this is the biggest problem for Heroic, I'd say.
I'm pretty excited this map specifically to watch RPK, because I think that like if anybody other than ZywOo is having an exceptional performance on any given day, it's always my favorite when it's ZywOo and RPK, because you get that, proactive op play, you get Apex around him trying to create openings, as we'll see on A ramp, as you said. But then also you've got this landmine in RPK where if the team tries to avoid that proactive opping, if they try to dodge the aggression that Vitality might throw at them, then suddenly you could be stepping on RPK, who's just at this point mowing bodies down, man. He looked fantastic on Dust 2. It's not every day that we get somebody performing alongside ZywOo, let alone just right there up there with him. I mean, this is just they're going blow for blow, RPK and ZywOo, and that's a very scary Vitality. So I think I fear for Heroic here on map 3.
Yeah, he was like literally even better than ZywOo on that map somehow with just the rifle. And less players are better with the op, but the players who are good with the op will be entitled to more ADR just because, you've got a better gun that has an easier time getting multi-kills. But it's always so impressive to see the riflers keep it up, and especially with RPK, it's just a great storyline. Again, one of the best players in Source history, and even though it's been a long time since then, has only gotten better since he's come back in. Are you just tearing up at the thought of RPK's?
Freaking eyelash in my eye right now as we're on camera, stuck here. So it's not. I'm sorry. It hurts, man. It's just awful timing.
I mean, you got to do one of those weird moves where you like flip it up but you can't do that while we're live.
I can't do it right now. I'm just gonna sit here.
You better not do anything about it, because that would ruin the broadcast. So I hope you stay here in pain.
I was trying to dodge it. Sorry, derailed all of this one. I'm trying to rack my brain about what I want to talk about with Heroic.
Wait for the game to come back on. But yeah, for Heroic, I mean, I don't know what to expect from them. So we'll see what their Vertigo looks like. But they're probably not happy that this has gone to a third map. That's for sure.
Okay, take this away for a second. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Vertigo. And this should be a fantastically fun map to watch from ZywOo's perspective. Expecting the world now after we saw maps 1 and 2, and now it's just a level of comfort that that's just going to make him shine. You would expect. All signs point to an incredible game here from ZywOo's perspective.
Oh, yep, okay. There he is. There he goes. Right back into the A site. He will hide. No, actually, he's going to go back for more. But he's caught jumping. That's not going to help. It is the 3v2 turned back to the even keel. Borup finding Masuda and then disengaging, but Shox, he's coming very quickly from the flank. He's going to manage the frag versus Borup. It's down now, 1 versus 2. 1 frag already for him. And it's really a matter of choosing whether he pushes up short or tries to double back on tarps, but it looks like he goes back. CT's going to get aggressive. They're just playing side by side, and they may have thought he left here.
They get so scared when Heroic goes silent. Look at them running back and forth.
Just trying to find him.
Where did they even go? They went to peek, I guess, around the tarp to see if you went that way, and then we're like, okay, now the ramp. We don't see the ramp. Maybe we go B.
Well, there is this timing, man. I wonder how much of this comes down to intention. But when the two of them ran back from this initial sandbags peak to the site, that's actually what got Stown out from behind the yellow tarp. He was walking into the site thinking they were going to rotate B. They do one final check, and they catch him in the open. So no pistol round here for Heroic. It's going to be Vitality to the 1-0 start. Deep smoke down ramp, and a little bit back the other way here for Heroic. But Vitality are going to play dangerously close, because it is just the pistols, 3 of which out from mid, all cut down. Blink, and you miss it.
Stylistically, I've been loving this matchup. So fast-paced on both sides. And yeah, the rounds end early both ways. They both have fast T-sides, and they both have exciting ideas. Well, I mean, it's honestly less exciting ideas from Vitality. I kind of said that, but the talent is what makes them exciting. And then for Heroic, it's kind of like the balance between talent and tactics that creates for some interesting situations. So we'll see what the establishing round here is for Heroic. Into the rifles, AKs, close-up, or not close-up, I should say. Sorry, they're kind of middle of the map right now, spread out evenly, applying pressure. It's actually mid-control first here for Heroic, but Vitality have established on the A ramp.
The old creep and crawl.
This is 4 SMGs and a FAMAS versus 5 AKs.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All of which mostly are here on middle. That's 4 counter-terrorists taking map control, but because Heroic are doing this silently, they're not going to really capitalize on the timing defense. They're going to scramble back all across the map, actually. Get that deep smoke going over, and the teams are going to play off of it. Heroic able to get one at the back of the bomb site. That's going to alleviate a lot of pressure, give them tons of space to confidently put that bomb down. So very easy for Heroic. They just buy their time, walk up ramp, and they hit the CTs before they ever knew it was coming.
We talk about Dust 2 as a map that, oh my god. Well, that's a couple of good kills, yeah. That takes down a couple AKs that they can't pick up. No Kimbo in this game. But we talk about Dust 2 as a map that you can get away with not having much utility on both sides, and it's not that bad. Except for long control, where a lot of utility gets drawn out. Overall on the map, it's just not that intensive utility-wise. On Vertigo, that is not the case. These drawn-out A execs from both perspectives, the T or the CT, can just go on for so long that it can really determine the course of the post plant, whether or not you have an extra incendiary, an extra smoke, extra flashbang. So the one thing that Vitality had going for them on this round was that fact. They were full utility belts, but Heroic pressed their advantage nice and quickly and made it so that they didn't even have to worry about a post-plant situation. Just didn't smoke out too many things and just took as many duels as possible. Round number 4 buys much better for Vitality, but a good round for Heroic to win, despite losing 2 players.
Smoke it again. How about an extension from the CTs? Anything at all? Just Apex here. He puts a couple shots through the smoke. Decides he wants to walk close. You know, it didn't end up working last round, but Vitality aggressing on mid with so many players is something worth praising. That's a nice continuation on the spray down. Right through the floor. He finds that second headshot. Masuda, he's going to jump down into the bomb site, but it's Tess's to best him. And Apex looking to find his impact. Bomb carrier back behind the orange. And Tess says he's looking the wrong direction. Cadian's going to get pushed. Bomb goes down, but still Apex, he has taken back the site by storm. And Nico, he's got only 4 health. Apex, hell of a 4K. Beautiful retake.
Amazing from Apex. Heads up move right there. Like playing off the sound cues purely. Coming in for that pre-fire. One guy got his hands busy planting. I'm going to take my Piercer's advantage on the generator player. Turn that into a denied bomb plant. Or well, not a denied bomb plant, but a kill that opens up the bomb, and that's it. This is a sweet peek as well. Man, that's so sick from Apex. Really beautiful stuff.
Dan,
really
Madagascar.
beautiful stuff.
Tanks
don't have
scopes. RPK had only 54 total op kills before he stole Nico's to op another. He has over 80 Molotov. Sorry, I thought that second sentence was going to be connected. That's just, he has over 80 Molotov kills. Is that a lot or not many?
I feel like it's not that many.
Right. 80 Molotov kills. Doesn't feel that many. But then again, I think to myself, like, how often does a Molotov register a kill? pretty infrequently.
Yeah,
it does
you
lots
might
of
have done
damage.
tons of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fair. I would like to know now. We look at other Molotov stats, who actually has a lot and what a lot looks like. Doesn't
Elliot.
feel like that many, but yeah.
We're gonna need some follow-ups, man. Who has the most Molotov kills?
Yeah.
And why is it probably someone from Astralis?
Ooh. Yeah, why isn't it Zipex? I bet it's Flesha. I'm gonna put Flesha or Fallen. I'm gonna go Flesha or Fallen.
I saw this stat on Twitter the other day about knife kills in professional games and how JW and Flesha are at the top of that list. But you know who else is starting to champion the disrespectful knife strats? It's Art. Art from Furia. And I'm not too surprised either. I feel like the gall he has to go for some of the plays. Why wouldn't he be whipping the knife out?
Okay, we got a gimmick spot here from Apex. Works once every few rounds. But wow, perfect with that flash. And he can fall back. No one to trade it. They responded to hearing, I think, a nade being pulled out, I feel like, to flash and have him peek. Nicely done. And RBK, he's not losing duels tonight.
Ooh, Masuda. He wants more. He's going to move forward as Nico does get the wallbang kill, but then dies right after. Borup and Cadian versus 4. They're just trying to muscle together a bomb plant. Smoke on the bomb site. Molly back the other direction. Nice.
Okay.
Quick headshot there from Cadian. Kind of ridiculous. He takes the bomb out. Could have died to that. And then RPK extends into the site. Zywoo closing this one down. That's Vitality. 4 rounds to 1.
Yeah, nicely done. Zywoo purposefully missing a shot to bait that peek in so the CT player could push in. And Zywoo coming out for the second. So smart, this guy. Even misses on purpose. Okay, and yeah, they keep it up with 2 alive, deny that A-ramp pressure once again. Starts off with a nice kind of gimmick, and I don't say that in a way to demean the pick. You know, the gimmick kills, you kind of want something like that every once in a while. You obviously can't play that spot every round, but you can throw it in once a half, and if it wins you the round, then it's served its purpose. It's added so much value, especially now that we've pulled out an eco round. Mitsuda will have eyes down mid. Shock's also peeking down the B stairs. Fair bit of map control here for the CTs.
Masuda, quick reposition. This is my favorite thing about the new construction there from middle. Oh, yo, Cadian. He's not going to kill Apex. I love this. He calls that Apex has compromised the ladder room, and then Cadian slips past it. So sure, they get the kill on Apex, and now at this point, Vitality may expect them that somebody has gone by, but there's no way they realize that Cadian has this much space, and he's gonna do it to Zywoo too? Knife him. Stab him. Shoot him. Do it. He does it. He's got the op. He's gonna peek back up. Oh, and another. What a sick play from Cadian. Oh, the patience is beautiful. And this round is all heroic, all because of it.
Ah, man, that's why we love Counter-Strike, right? Positioning is everything. And he abuses that to the nth degree, getting the kill onto Zywoo, stealing his off, turning that into another kill, and delaying the kill just long enough for his team to get prepared to come up A with him. So sick. So well done. Instant save. Vitality left scratch on their heads. We'll go into round number 6. Well, this is round 6. We'll go into round number 7. And yeah, there's not that much money here for Vitality. So, man, winning on a save feels doubly good because not only do you win with worse guns, but you maintain that you were going to buy next round. So you have so much money now to work with up, and they don't even have to upgrade into an op. They have KD on an op, 2 M4s to work with, and third benefit, everything's cheaper on the T side. It's a fire sale.
Cadian here in this position waited till the absolute last moment before his teammates go for that pick because it buys the maximum amount of time before Zywoo can make any sort of a call. So immediately gets onto the op, slams back the rotator. Cadian, that's a big brain play. And I like it. Let's see if they can convert off of it. RPK, he's going to be given a duel versus Nico Deep B, so 5 versus 4. Heroic going to have to find a way to answer despite a man disadvantage. And middle is completely open for the taking, at least until they start rounding the corners, where Masuda's Deagle looks to hold them.
What kind of damage can you do with the Deagle? We'll soon find
out. First peek, and Tesses bests him. There's the spray for the second as well, but it shocks off the top of construction. He throws the supportive flashbang over to RPK. They look to control the B bomb site, just kerneling up on it. However, the bomb heads elsewhere.
Scary part, of course, about holding B is losing that B ramp control. But now that they've got the CTs on full alert over on that side, they can ease up a little bit, but put some pressure onto Zywoo. Wow, that was a really good adjustment. Oh, come on. He drops the bomb too, and his teammate dies. Dude, man, it's crazy how he finds the heads there. Like, you'd think it's going to be a labored body spray down in the jump up. He immediately finds the head. I feel like he gets to slow down the game.
He's probably a little pissed off about Cadian's antics last round. I also think it's so impressive that after he gets that first kill, he tries to spam tarp a bit to maybe take somebody through the wallbang, but then he gets peeked by another player on the ramp that he wasn't ready for, and his ability to just fall back one step and crosshair placement properly for the extension on the peak, it's just further evidence, as if you need further evidence to realize that Zywoo is so damn good.
And
never
of course,
pressured.
The rotation was really good from Heroic to come back to A.
Agreed.
They did the right amount of mid control, right amount of mid pressure, I should say, to throw things into question. They kept the interest of the T players on the B ramp while also limiting them on what they could know. And they prepped the boost. This is a huge part of Vertigo as well, getting kills before the site takes come out. Now it's a one-for-one trade. Oh, good T kills.
Yes, sir. Testes, he gets Apex's head over the bomb site, but we've got Masuda stepping up, and I have liked the addition of Masuda to Vitality. However, it looks like he's not going to make his play, because one player stampedes back down ramp, but it's not an obvious leave, and Masuda, he's going to tuck in behind Tesses, rounding the boxes right into the face of two, but they best him. So Tesses, now he's going to be tasked with the entry. RPK's coming back to the bomb site, but they are already so close to him. He sees the offer in the background. It looks like he wants to rush bomb, but he knows the possibility of a short player is all too real. Tesses ends him and shocks with the op. He's going to have to walk away and save.
Well done by Tesses. He knew RPK, you could see he was aware of kind of all of the fights that could have come down right there. And Tesses puts himself in a good position to alienate the one spot that RPK could stand in to try to kill whoever it was that was on the opposite default planning the bomb. And Heroic pull out another one. Bomb ticks down. Some good money made here. And Shocks saving this op is a big deal. Handing this over to Zywoo could really change things. But overall, good trades moving up onto the A site. The boost doesn't amount to anything for Vitality. It's not timed badly, but there was no one on the A ramp. They were wrapping around the other way, basically. And man, that's a big wide flick from Tesses to open up the site too. Holy crap.
Thing with Masuda's play as well, he goes down the ramp, but had he just checked around the top of Tarp, then Tesses had his back completely exposed. So what could have been is not to the favor of Vitality in the end. Heroic, again, losing a man right out the gate, but this one obviously traded, so not the end of the world. But poor Cadian, gonna have to call from the sidelines.
Yeah, they're still probably a bit better here, but yeah, the op on Zywoo, that's the one they're going to be worrying about. Tesses, so good last round, but gets called out on this one. Would have been the lurk back towards A, but now there's a heavier lean from the CTs. Oh, Bora. He takes down one of the biggest challenges, but Apex is right beside him. Right-hand man.
Molotov past the box, jumping back over into the cover, and looking to disengage as Sound walks in. Zywoo. Easy adjustment on the op. And Borup 1 versus 3. He's a little valuable here, so I don't think he's going to want to die for no good reason. Looks like Vitality about to double up 6 rounds to 3.
Maybe a bathroom break? This would be a good time to hop on the porta potty, probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
We had the back and forth now for, this is going to be 6 rounds in a row. CT to T alternating wins.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, sir.
Well, normally the T comes out ahead here. So would this mark 2 rounds in a row for Vitality? Can't even remember. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. Next round, maybe. T's don't have much to work with, and of course, the loss bonus not their friend if you're trading back and forth like this. So yeah, next round, I wonder. The question is, will they buy around the op? Is the big question. They have 2 buys, 2 AK buys. If they want to go no nades. I feel like maybe they buy around the op because they know that Vitality's money is quite low.
Here's Zywoo catching him on the jump. I mean, he holds that angle for how long? And Tess says, the moment he jumps upwards, gets wrecked. Tanks don't have scopes part 2. Flusha is at 216 molly kills and nearly 1,000 op kills. But it was more to show how few op kills RPK had. Yes, but the molly stat, that's what interested me, Elliot. You see? You thought you were giving us something to chew on, and we came back with the curveball.
Well,
There's a lot more Molotov kills, I'm going to say, than what RPK had.
I used to watch him just for literally his nade usage, like his demos, because his nade usage is like among the best outside of Astralis, literally. And but I still wonder what's like the top 10. You know, who's the highest ranked in terms of Molotov kills? That's what I want to know. I don't know if that's available. So, but if it is, I'd love to know. Okay, well, super important round for Heroic, of course. They do decide to force into this. It's the economic game of chicken, where Vitality are looking for their second in a row, which means although they're 3-6, 6-3, they don't have much money left over. I actually don't have that many nades left over this round. There's a lot here to play for Heroic, and they're much better in terms of odds to win the round with 3 rifles than the CTs are.
But Apex, well, he's got himself a cheeky position for number 10. That's sitting behind the sandbags. Looks like Borup wants to hold this. They do have 3 Molotovs, so one could definitely be used to clear him out. But, oh, they're going to decide not to. I mean, Apex, at any moment, he could just swing out. And now that he hears all of this, he's going to do exactly that. Stops the Opper, goes for the labored spray, gets back into the cover, and takes down Tesses. Borup trades it eventually. Borup, oh, he knew. You saw him. Of everybody on the T side, Borup seemed like he questioned that sandbag's position the most. He decides to go in for the execute. They don't clear it, and it absolutely costs them.
I mean, you hate yourself every time you don't clear sandbags and someone's there. It's like that boost in TT spawn on Inferno. It's at one of those positions. Apex finds another good round to use a different kind of gimmick. And of course, I only call that a gimmick because you're not in a very tradable spot. If you're spotted, you're pretty screwed. If you get Molotov, you have to use a smoke. And then you're sitting in a smoke, which isn't always great. So, yeah, a lot of reasons why you just... I mean, it feels great to not get spotted there. Oftentimes you do. And once again, Apex, being the creative mind that he is, finds another opening.
Oh my god, they hear this one coming. This is Glocks. And a lot of Glocks. Apex, they don't have armor, bud. Time to rack them up. Looks like Sound's going to take one of the kills away from the CTs, destroying his own teammate. Cadian looks to double back with bomb. Yeah, he's going to try to run all the way to the B bomb site as all 3 CTs are on A. I mean, if he had gotten away just a few seconds sooner, then maybe this works, but it's going to be so difficult. Defense in time arrive, and Cadian's going to go right through the fire. Apex takes the head, Vitality take the round. That is a 5-point lead.
That looks to only grow. Cadian's not got a lot of money for this round. So far, it's what we expect on Vertigo. In terms of what Heroic can do different, I would like, they haven't tried a full B. I just don't know if they have one. So if that's something they could potentially give a chance to, might be a good time to do it, though. Shox is opping on the B side of the map. The upgrade into the double op setup will prove to be a difficult, another pain point for Heroic. Things change even further. Her Vitality trying to stay one step ahead. Working on mid simultaneously here is Ston. No help for him. And Misuda, he's been known to lurk a little bit too hard, but this time he actually wins.
Yes, sir. He peeks right into that one. And it was going well for Heroic. They had gotten a kill on the B bomb site. They had numbers collected on the cusp of it all. And Tessez is going to recollect some map control, but Masuda's going to peek right into the crosshair. Tessez takes back man advantage. Double sniper setup on this B site. And Apex, I think he's peeking down ramp. Yes, sir. So he's going to get the early warning sign at least, but he could just get stampeded if they decide to sprint in. Oh, it's
ruin the
so
scoreline.
dangerous. They're going to peek over the top. Little run boost, so he knows it's at least 2 people. Molly could burn off the timing. Still flirting with the shoulder peeks. He doesn't want to go too far back, but I think he realizes he sort of has to. Smoke grenade lined up. Flashbang left over. And Zywoo, he's going to kill Tessez, deciding to peek up mid. They get Apex to start spamming smoke, and he lines up the shot versus Bora. That is a bit of a robbery. You can't help but feel bad for Heroic with that one. Cadian, he's going to try and plant, but Zywoo's grenade is great, and Nico is desperate. It's a fake plant with another headshot coming through the smoke. Oh, they just never stood a chance.
Incredible map from Apex so far. 133 ADR, a great A-hold. Everything is happening, unfortunately for Heroic, like we expected with, even the nades coming into play now. And I think one thing I'm thankful for is we aren't having this kind of stupid A-site fight through the smokes every single round into the post plants. But that looks bad for Heroic because they've been low on the plants. And oh yeah, that's successful.
Oh, except
really
we landed the
them
Molotov and there's nowhere to run. Oh my god, imagine that. You survive being thrown around the outside of a 70-floor skyscraper just to burn on the edge. If that was me, I would have jumped. It's down, empty-handed, as Masuda and RPK use the rifles to grab a couple headshots. And this round goes as expected. You know, I respect Heroic for going with the gimmick. Maybe the Tech 9 flying through the sky catches someone by surprise, but not this time. RPK still just posted up, ready and waiting, with more than a minute on the clock.
And Vitality really are this kind of like permanent dark horse. It's just, yeah, there's definitely a lot of, it's so weird to have a team like this, you know, but I don't think if you ask Vitality, they'd have it any other way. The problems they need to fix are inconsistency, but not in their peaks.
I agree with that. Ooh, that would have been a nice one. Good hustle, Tessez. Tessez is looking for the headshots, and they're not presenting themselves to him. In fact, they're just doing damage versus the T's, so not being made any easier. Shox whips out his sidearm and shows Heroic how it's done. That's double digits for Vitality, a 10-3 CT side. It's been a long while since we saw Heroic add one to the board, but at least they got the run boost going.
That's always fun to watch. Do like to see run boosts on maps whenever we can. But it's all for show. It's all for show. All right. One of the last chances here for Heroic to get back into this game and disprove all the analysis about their odds on this map. But Shox, he's got the op to mid. His movement's really great so far. 2 op kills, drags him into Masuda's line of fire as well. Molotov on the fallback. Borup and Nico with an ult to do 2v5. And
So
almost certainly a
blind.
save on the horizon.
Poor Borup. He's locked into this gunfight, and it looks like he wants to go for it. It could have coupled very nicely with Nico getting the entry on B, because Nico could have closed this gap, gotten closer to the middle, and there's a possibility that these CTs would have had less health, but they are still all standing tall. Nico cutting them down, however, dies out to Masuda, who is just crouched behind the most awkward piece of cover. So unexpected angle, both the snipers saved, and 1 round to go here in the first half. This is Shox with the op up close, just doing such a good job of falling back into cover.
Sometimes, yeah, he has actually one of my favorite, like Thorin tweeted this out in jest saying Shox should not because he had this one crazy ace. One of my favorite op aces of all time though, on Inferno, I think versus Virtus Pro back in like 2014.
Oh, it worked.
This time, successful run boost, better gun, AK kill in, spots another head, but RPK, he's too slippery.
Yep. Gonna put that one to rest real quick. Nicely done, though. That's a 100% run boost success rate.
Yeah.
And props to Nico for stepping up to the challenge. You know, you're trusting your teammate with a lot. RPK after the fadeaway headshot. Looks like he wants a little bit more here to close out the half. 12-3 looking likely. Excellent flashbang. Stound's able to recover, though, and turns RPK right back. Apex, he's got the cover of the orange boxes. A little bit of chip damage versus Cadian, taking away his teammate and forcing Cadian to have to clutch this 1 versus 3 with less than half health. Never gonna happen. Not with Masuda on the flank. So 3 rounds for Heroic to try and hold this off, to try and bring back the series. Join us after the break to find out.
I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Burning dreams take me back to you. In the night when I heard you call. We're not the only ones. 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 Heads down, they will watch us shake the ground. Oh, it's like it will fill the air around. Oh, not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Burning dreams take me back to you. In the night when I heard you call. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones.
A couple of excellent first maps led us to this decider, thinking we had a close game on our hands. But oh, were we mistaken. Those first 15 very heavily the way of Vitality, and now Heroic, with their back against the wall, are gonna have to try and come into this one. They go for the peek through middle. They all start lining up for Masuda. Apex and Zywoo with a kill apiece before Stound gets something going here for Heroic. It's a cliche to say it all hinges on the second pistol, but with a score this lopsided, it absolutely does.
That couldn't be more true. Fortunately, it was a lot of what we expected out of Heroic and more so out of Vitality, getting total control of every situation, really. And looking just as confident here on the pistol. Yeah, Heroic just didn't have a lot of layers to their game plan. Mostly defaults. Getting destroyed on the A ramp, getting destroyed on the lurks, getting destroyed on the B hits, running into a lot of talent. So CTs, they try to reclaim. Oh my god, he gets spotted. That's rough. There's still 2 in B. And
Yeah,
Shock
and
wants to kill them both.
Hey, my Shocks. Give him a damn chance, my man. 14-5 is Shoxy after that second pistol. And he may not have the most kills, but he definitely has the least deaths. Look, it didn't even look like he expected someone here. Watch this. Boop. Like it's nothing. He just deletes down like he's not even a human being, man. That kid's got family.
Yeah, absolutely no reverence. MP9s. Give it. I'll probably be buying for the rest of this half, considering the situation we're in. Maybe saving for 15. If they lose this, Shocks good tag though on the Shocks. Apex leading the charge, leading by example, entering. As was pointed out by Elliot, didn't entry once on Mirage. Will now be up front.
Leading the hit.
though.
Yeah, he's going to pressure the scout player right away. So, unfortunately for Cadian, ooh, never mind. Fortunately for Cadian, Apex decides to hold his angle and dies to the lesser weaponry. There is no bomb plant as of yet, but ZywOo's trying to lock this down. He's very limited in his weaponry. A MAC-10 versus an entire CT team. He is on top of the bomb planter, trying to lay it down, which he does. No plant, actually. Masuda comes off of it because of the pressure applied from the CT side. And now we have 21 combined HP for Shox and ZywOo to try and clutch this. They've got 45 seconds, and they decide to send Shoxy down ramp, running over to B.
You think no way ZywOo wins this with this duel going on, unless Borup stands up by accident. He's in a pretty good spot. Cover from his teammate as well. Oh, an upgrade into the AK to make things a bit more interesting. Some utility as we're seeing.
If he jumps on the phone, you have a better angle, but he's not going to find it. ZywOo, he's going to try to reach for the bomb. No, Shox is going to do it instead. ZywOo, oh, he gives quick cover to Cadian. Here comes Borup, element of surprise, both die. Borup, well done. All he had to do was keep that head tucked. And in doing so, that's heroic, winning the force after losing pistol. Only 4 rounds, Mohan. It's not pretty, but it's something to play with.
Yeah, they can go for a dignified scoreline and maybe show us a little bit more about what they can do on the CT side. Nice opening kill to deny that entry attempt by Apex, and a great 1D and clutch 1v2 by Borup as well in this post plant, as all players are low. And for some reason, it got scarier than it probably should have, but ultimately, the win is the win. The win is the win is the win. Last map, last half. Stone pushing down, try to get control. And what will be the response from the T's? They're looking for the run boost. It's not here. Shox already low once again. ZywOo sporting 1 of 2 AKs on this round.
Almost like they want that B flank to happen. I would argue because we saw the FAMAS drop down there so early in the round. I like that Heroic decide, even on a gun round, you think normally gun advantage goes quite nicely with a passive setup, but there are certain maps, certain positions that you can definitely afford to take an early risk. And in my opinion, bottom B of Vertigo, definitely worth it. Here comes Cadian. Off of the box with a shot versus RPK, Apex trades, and the 4v4 ensues.
Snags a P250. Good revenge frag. Still weapons advantage towards the CTs, and Cadian sourcing out some more map control here. So they try to reclaim the A ramp, which will be huge. And oh, dude, ZywOo. But he looks so prepared for that. Almost pre-fired Cadian.
Borup, looking over that Tech 9. Ooh, full flash. Tech 9 gets by. Second peek denied. Masuda. Ooh, all victims to Borup. Beauty of a 3-piece.
Very strange one. Yeah, nice spray down. With the flash to push him back to that spot. Shox crosses, and I think he forfeits the bomb plant to come and trade once the kill doesn't come in. Probably would have been a bit better to just get rid of that threat first with your teammates flying onto the site with you, but nice spray regardless. All 3 headshots from Borup, and now it is the full-on saves. Vitality are relegated to the Glocks. No upgrades at all besides the AP250 or 2. One of those is gone.
Nice, Cadian. Come on, this is what I wanted. Like I was pretty surprised that the first half was so flat for Heroic. And now all we're getting thus far on this CT side is like, okay, yeah, sure, they've had gun advantage, but the mechanics have looked crisp. Let's go. I would love to, absolutely love to, bring this map all the way back to like 25 plus rounds. You know, this is, don't forget, okay, for a moment, there's been quite a break between the group stage and the playoffs, but here in playoffs, there is no second chance. This is the lower bracket match already. We're looking at Heroic about to be sent home, so they better give it all.
Yeah, actually, I mean, they've got the win over North, close loss G2. 3-1 in their last 4. Just a much better map in general for Vitality, but yeah, CT side might take some edge off.
Roll P250.
Right. No op, just the full utility. So yeah, the first kind of heavyweight round of the half for Vitality. And where do they want to take it? We'll see if there's going to be any A antics. Cadian could have his way with this round if uses his op properly.
Let's go. Full-fledged gun round. This is what we're waiting for. This is supposed to be Vitality's chance to bounce right back in control if they want to keep it dominant. But counter-terrorists, looks like they're going to set the precedent. Trying to peek down. These are those big clashes we're talking about. Through the smoke, back and forth. Like, it can be such a gamble at times. And these CTs, I mean, trailing by 7 rounds, you don't want to gamble too much. But it works out for the time being. Tessus re-peek off of the flash, tucks back, calling for help. And Apex, he's already up the ramp. So he is going to punish Tessus, who's pinned into position. But here comes Down, able to get out from elevator. Trying to keep this one close. A single man advantage is all that Vitality have to work with, but that could be enough.
Basically the two best players of the last half are out of the round, so Stown and Borup. They've got some good utility as well. I mean, they could let the bomb potentially get planted or try to deny it in the few last seconds here. Shocked. Oh. Well, one trade comes through. Okay, Stown 1v2. You know? Oh, okay, never mind. Spray down. Wow, on his way out. I think that was... It looked like it was through a smoke. Nearly made it out of there, but yeah, they can't do it. 2 beastly entries from Apex to kick things off. What's up?
I just haven't seen this graphic yet.
Oh, okay.
This is sick.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the round count. Nice to see the ADR. Look at them big
right
bars
there.
for Apex.
It makes that first map stat even more interesting. The no entry stat. Yeah, he's been at the front of the A ramp execs. So far, Vitality on 14, knocking on the door of match point.
Ooh, deep smoke. I like that one. Plus Borup, he's already in position. They didn't expect that. But RPK gets him as fast as possible. Stown retreats into the bomb site. He has 9 kills at the moment. And one of the 2 ops, as Cadian is all the way on the other side of the map, just watching the depths of the A ramp. So this is going to allow for them to start stacking up on B. They're going to keep Tessus on top of construction watching mid, but at the moment, Heroic have no reason to move. They just hold and wait and look to nail their shots.
And what is the course of action here for Vitality? Posted up down below. They've allowed Heroic to get into better spots to hold on to B. They found a cool in-between timing to open up a kill.
Look at that.
Oh!
It's so nice. You've seen boosts to jump behind the wood of the new staircase, but that is beautiful. The perfect counter to the position. He gets both players completely caught off guard, and Cadian from the opposite side of the map has nothing to do in this one. Vitality taking 15 off of a beautiful duo boost between RPK and ZywOo.
That was so amazing. Holy crap. They let them get into that position where they were nice and comfortable. They even they wanted Nico basically to push up to that spot just so they could have the opportunity to kill them both with one player and lock that round up. And then Shocks comes in right at the end. Such a well-threaded round from all sides, all units on Vitality to come through at the same time. And I was really wondering, what are they doing if they aren't working on map control to let the CTs get into position? And it looks like they were setting the honeypot on the forward aggressive B positions for Heroic. A huge call out, 15 rounds, and yeah, it's a huge climb back into this game for Heroic. But Vitality, that's the 2 in a row 2 very solid rounds in a row as well. A couple of solid entries up the A site, seeing some variety, plus that B, those B kills, excuse me. And Heroic have but an MP9 to go with this op, along with some good grenades.
So if you're in the camp of the Danes, you better cross your fingers that they pull a miracle out of this 22nd. Completely outnumbered, completely outgunned. Well, not outnumbered yet. That was a lie. Definitely outgunned.
It probably feels like it, outgunned.
Yeah. I mean, ZywOo, he's got to count for at least like 1.5, right?
He's like 8 people, yeah.
It's just this
They're
like
a team of 13 with
octopus.
ZywOo.
This, oh my god.
Yeah,
what a
he's a Ganesh.
frightening idea. Aha. All right, let's see what unfolds here. They're starting to size up the A bomb site. And we had seen some deep positions from Cadian. Most previously, the last round where he was, tucked here on short, watching deep ramp. But there's nobody until this first corner for Shocks. It's just the pistol and then the SMG. Good trade by Stown. And there's more players around. It's not just him alone here. And that goes for his teammates and enemies. Apex back behind the boxes. ZywOo just turned his attention away from short. And they're calling more bodies up, so we're gonna get a clash. A big clash on the A site to potentially close map 3. Vitality held back by the Molotov. Down goes Apex. Borup's Deagle looking good for the moment. And, the peek from ZywOo. That's definitely gonna help. Up close, another. Down goes Borup. 20 seconds left. We do have Cadian trying to get into this gunfight, but here's Stown off of the box, tagging up Masuda ever so slightly. He needs help, and Cadian's being kept at bay. He goes for the peek, and now he's down for good. Cadian's position already known to Vitality. This is looking impossible for Cadian. A heroic run throughout DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, but it looks like Vitality are about to move forward. They will be meeting the winner of Astralis and Ninjas in Pajamas for the lower bracket round 2, unless, and it's not gonna happen. Cadian shut down by who other than ZywOo. That's Vitality with the win.
Clinical by Vitality to close it out in that fashion. And we knew the series went to 3 maps. It was going to be tough for Heroic. And unfortunately for them, Vitality looked hella consistent on Dust 2 as well. So any questions we had about how the performances would go on the individual level for Vitality were totally squashed. And for Heroic, I mean, I loved what we saw on the first map and the first half of the second. I think there's some great stuff there. But again, the result, unfortunately, it's no surprise.
Vitality move along. Heroic sent packing. But of course, we'll have the desk unpacking this entire series once we come back from the break. See you guys there.
We spoke about Heroic having to deliver an unbeatable performance against a tier 1 team, but it certainly did not happen this time around. It was Vitality showing their confidence, showing their strength, and getting the job done. A 16-6 scoreline, and they never seemed to struggle. They never seemed out of it. There was a few glimmers of hope coming out of the Heroic lineup, but they were just not ready for this. Vitality claimed the series, and that's one thing they can be happy with. But I guess maybe they'll come back to looking at Mirage. It potentially could have been a 2-0 if they had kept that comeback coming into it all. But guys, it is pretty much as you said. And Pimp, I'm going to start with you on this one because Heroic, when it comes to Vertigo, we said they could play it. Well, this time they were just outclassed.
Yeah, they're outclassed. I think they did a good job of constantly being annoying to Heroic. On that CT side, they were constantly getting an opening duel, or at least taking an opening duel before Heroic got to execute wherever they wanted to go in the map. So I think that was a clear game plan from Vitality coming into this game, that they wanted to disturb the way Heroic played. I think Vitality was well aware that Heroic is a team that thrives well when they get to do their stretch, thrives well when they get to be the tactical team. So the more they could disturb that, the better, and they were fully successful with that. ZywOo again playing well with the AWP as well as the M4, RPK having a great game. Overall, I think that was just a great team performance from Vitality, and that was good to see. Potentially, will I say right now, one of the best Vertigo teams in the world. They're really looking strong on that map.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there, Pimp. And I think the key part you just mentioned there, it was a team performance here. This was Vitality hitting their shots, playing together as a team, and doing the job that we want to see him. We don't want to see him to have to rely on ZywOo the whole time because we know that's not viable.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a true team effort, and I think Vertigo is still one of these maps where on the T side you either play the A side or you play the B bomb side. It's not like Inferno where you can place pieces left and right and just hold. So I think the fact that Apex and ZywOo were so solid at the beginning of the game, it kind of just shut down the whole game plan to Heroic, because if you get completely destroyed on A and then you go to B, well, you just fall into the trap and everyone is ready for you. So a lot of that strong defense relies on the A bomb side, and obviously Apex tops the scoreboard, but just overall he did an amazing job on the CT side.
And it really felt like we spoke about, there you go, the phone's ringing once again. We're back in action. It cuts you midway through. We got Apex on the line from Vitality, and he's going to be a happy man at least. Apex, this is another good win for you guys, 2-1 in the score line. But I would say, on Mirage, there was a chance for you guys to take that there.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We're starting the games pretty bad lately. It happened yesterday as well on the Blast, so it's happening, it's life. But the good thing is that we can wake up, and yeah, that wasn't our good phase on Mirage. We're pretty strong on that map, not today.
What's the reason why you guys are always starting out slow? Is there anything specific you can pinpoint, or is it just a bad habit?
Too many games lately. I don't know. I mean, for sure we need some rest. Mainly me, my brain is explosive right now. It's not really easy for me to play Counter-Strike. I don't enjoy it as much as before right now because there is like so many games. But yeah, I just want to fight for the team, and I will still fight. But sometimes you don't have the energy left. But I hope I'm gonna keep this energy as long as possible.
So first of all, I just want to say respect for stepping in and becoming the IGL. It must not be easy. Do you feel like you are getting all the help from like your teammates, your staff? Do you feel comfortable, or is it still not so easy?
Well, it's hard right now because I think that you're good in game when you're good in outside of the game. And as we have everything happening right now, it wasn't an easy moment for me, to be honest. That was most likely a tough moment. So to respond to the answer, to the question, sorry, Xtaz is helping me a lot, to be honest. He's such a great coach. I mean, for me, he's one of the 3 best coach in the world. He's helping a lot. I'm just growing and learning a lot from him. The same Alex did last year. It's kind of the same. So yeah, they're helping me, and Shock's also helping me in mid-round call. But yeah, that's the right balance we have right now.
Now talk to me, Apex, a sec, because you said just there about XQTaz. We don't often get to speak to him. So how is your relationship with him? What kind of things is he doing? How is he working with you guys?
Who you're the coach?
Your coach, yeah.
Okay. Well, he's preparing the games. During practice or games, he just tell me what to do. We're just talking all the time together to know exactly what's the plan for us, how we have to play, and all those things, And yeah, it just helping me in all the aspects. So I cannot say anything special except that he's such a great guy.
Dan, you're the in-game leader of Vitality for right now, right? Is this a role that you think you'll be working on as well in 2 years? Like, is this the new Apex sort of? Like, is that gonna be your new legacy as an in-game leader? Or are you only doing it because you're the only one who can do it at the moment?
I think Maniac knows me pretty well on that one, and I've always been kind of a leader in the team, but in the mental aspect, in all the things, not on the strategic one. I mean, I used to be a second caller, but never the in-game leader. But yeah, I like to do it. I mean, I will be even happier to do it in the real life, I would say, because right now it's tough, and I'm not at my 100%. I'm far from that, except maybe I'm talking about the captain, not really the in-game leader. In-game leader is all right right now, but the captain is not as I expected. I want to be a much better guy for my teammates and all those stuff. So yeah, I really like this role. Maybe I should have taken before in my career, but yeah, it's really nice, and I really enjoy just showing that we're still capable of playing really good without Alex.
Now, one thing you said interestingly there is about the captain side being harder. What aspects of that is it that you find harder, Apex?
Well, as I said before, when you're not feeling good outside of the game, you're not really focused on everything. I mean, sometimes I'm raging a little bit too much. I'm a bit too harder on my teammates sometimes, and yeah, it's not that easy sometimes. And but I know they're trusting me. I'm sorry for that. I told them a few times, and yeah, I was trying to get better. But I know that if my mental illness needs to be to be covered as soon as possible when we will back into normal life. As soon as possible.
I think it's really good that you understand that that's a problem you're having at the moment, something you're dealing with. And I'm sure you'll work on it, Apex. But Apex, thank you so much for your time. You're always having to crack on with these interviews. We're going to start sending out English books to teach the rest of them, right? So then you can get a break from that as well.
We have a day. We have a day off tomorrow, guys. It's insane. Thank you very much.
Hey, enjoy the day off, man. Finally. A true grind for the Vitality boys, right? When you literally look at their map page, it's just stacked up of days of practice, days of matches. It actually seems like, when we had the point where all the players are complaining like, oh, there's too many LANs, there's too many events. I feel like they've got even more to do now. I think it's got worse since they've got home.
It's only gotten worse. It's a tough world for these players. It's a tough world for everyone involved in esports. But as we talk about and as we spoke about coming into today, there's no excuse anymore, right? It's equal for everyone. And if you go find these tournaments, well, you're going to play a lot of official games. And there's always the option of not playing. Look at Glaive, look at Skripnik. If you don't want to, and if you're getting to a point where you need a break, I'm sure that the teams will allow you to take that break if needed. But for now, just stick through it and fight as much as you can.
And you got to say, right, big props to Apex for being very honest on that role and the things he's struggling with there. I really appreciate it when we get that understanding of why some things, because we look at the game right all the time, we look at the players and think, well, why isn't this working? But there's a lot more to it than that. And Maniac, from your psychologist side of things, that there's a hell of a big mental game in this.
Yeah, and this interview was really nice to me also because I know the guy and I just appreciate him as a person, right? He's a good friend of mine, probably one of the closest I've had at Counter-Strike, and it was a very insightful interview, and it's great to see him be aware of like what he has to work on and the challenges that come with the role. And I agree with him. And being an in-game leader and being a captain is actually two different things. You can have the tactical aspect of it covered, but then you also have to act like a role model all the time. That's what it is to be an IGL, to be a captain. So a great interview from Apex for sure. So cheers to that.
Now let's take a look at this bracket that we've got right now as we wait for our next interview to come in, because the playoffs bracket starts to get a little bit spicy when we see who Vitality will be facing. It'll be either one of Astralis or Nip, and they've beaten both of them when it came to the Blast event.
This may sound a bit controversial, but if I were to look at these teams and look at the current shape they're in right now, I would even argue the lower bracket is potentially even stronger than the upper bracket. Vitality, I think they're playing some solid Counter-Strike right now. Apex is onto something when he's saying that they start off slow, but when they're finding the groove and when they're playing up to their level, they are a very solid team right now. And NIP, ever since bringing in the new in-game leader in Hampus, it's been looking a little bit shaky, but they're also getting better and stronger and stronger. So potentially, let's not rule out Astralis for now, but the form they've been showing as of lately, there's a great chance that NIP will beat them. We get Vitality and NIP in that lower bracket, and that's a strong matchup.
It really is. And when we look at this, right, teams are going through such an up and down period. You never really know what you're going to get. We can't predict very easily what's going to happen because these teams show us so many different forms of themselves. We've seen a Fnatic that looked unstoppable. We saw a Fnatic that completely dropped the ball. And we then see from the Astralis camp, things didn't look too bad when it was just Yugi. We see Yugi and Snappy come in and, well, they've not been able to get themselves into that same stride again, which I can understand. It's going to be very hard for them to do. But just want to touch on that Nip bit while we wait a little bit longer, because this Nip, to me, is probably got the most chance of being successful out of any Nip in a long time, because we were talking about the coaching position earlier. Threat being able to add so much input is a huge thing for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Threat's role is absolutely influential right now, considering they don't really have that. Let's put it this way. My only fear with this NIP lineup is that they would lack the person that would take all the responsibility and take over the game and be that role model, right? But when you have Threat and he can have that kind of impact, he can be the one modeling the game plan and helping them out, then that's okay. Plus, you have to realize with this remote Counter-Strike right now, he can talk a lot. He can have a lot of impact during the game, midway through it. He can help with the call. When we move back to offline and there are the restrictions restrictions that we know, it's going to be a bit more limited. But for now, it's perfect. He can have as much impact as he can, because that would be my one only fear. Who is the guy that will take charge? But otherwise, I agree with you. I think this is the fiercest NIP lineup we've seen in a long time. Plopsky and Nok both seem to be very, very winning gambles. I mean, Nok is probably on his track to become the superstar of that team. It's very complete. Plopsky
needs to be.
Yeah, so I think indeed this NIP lineup, like a snake that finally shed his skin, it's actually becoming something very interesting.
They're building for the future. I think that's the most important point
Yes.
to bring up right here. They bring in Hampus as an in-game leader. They're bringing in that guy that potentially for the future can be the leader figure of this NIP lineup. So NIP right now is doing everything correctly. The management side of this lineup is doing a good job trying to build for the future. Just one point I want to mention out right here. Riz, the player from NIP right here, he's been absolutely horrible for the past 2 or 3 years. He's not been playing up to the level that we know he can. As of lately, though, he's starting to step up. And if he can keep that level up together with the likes of Twist, Nok, and Plopsky, as you mentioned, Maniac, I think NIP has a lineup that potentially could be a top 5 team consistently again for the future. And that excites me a lot, because that's been a long, long time since we actually put stake in towards NIP.
Too long. I can't even remember the year we'd be looking at, but I can remember some of the games that we saw today, and that's what I want to look at next, because we started off things with Fnatic taking on Complexity. Fnatic took the win, but Complexity, they still come in with some heavy-hitting chances.
They sure did. And that was a good game, Maniac.
It truly was. Honestly, I didn't think that Complexity had in them to push it the distance. They did, so really respect that. There was a ton of firepower on the server. This also was, unfortunately for Complexity, was the match that Creams decided to wake up, because he had been probably the one a little bit underperforming in the past few weeks. If you look at the ratings and just after seeing him play last week, he was quite quiet. Well, no chance for Complexity, because this game he really fired on all cylinders, and I mean, we know the kind of king he can be when he takes over games. So it was a great game. It was closer than I expected it to be, but the more rounds the better.
Oh yes, the more rounds the better indeed, and Fnatic continue to look better, but how many knife kills do we need to see in one game at this point, right? This is just insane. It's like, I interviewed JW before and I said, how do you just predict whether you know this is the time to do it or not? Because so many times it could go wrong and he just seems to get away with them all. But I want to also look at Mad Lions taking on Spirit, because I just expected a bit more from Spirit here, guys. They were looking so good when we looked at the group stage.
Yeah, they were looking good in the group stage, and I think Spirit, maybe they got their hands a little bit too full, right? They showed a great face in the group stage, but let's be honest, it's not a team we expect to be competing against some of the best teams out there. Mad Lions right now, they're doing a good job, and they showed today that they are en route for a great season, I'd say. Their loss against Ents yesterday, that wasn't looking good, and maybe that could have been the difference maker today in terms of confidence, but they bounced right back, and I think Spirit had a great tournament overall, but Mad Lions is just a little bit too strong for them at the moment.
And obviously we've just seen Vitality take down the likes of Heroic, another Danish team falling here. But one thing I want to do is speak to the man behind this team. It is Hunden. He should be with us. There you go. It's ringing away. We've been waiting for him. And we've got to start with something outside of the game, Hunden. It's your birthday as well, mate. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Not exactly the game you want to be celebrating, but I'm hoping you'll get a few drinks and get to relax and unwind a bit. But just talk to me about this series here, because first 2 games at least look competitive with it, but then Vertigo, you guys just seem to kind of lose your flow with it all. What happened?
I think we got surprised in the veto that they picked us to today. We was not prepared for that one, so I think we got caught off in the veto. But I think on Vertigo, we had some good reads on them, but we couldn't close out the rounds, to be honest.
They baited everyone with that Dust 2, because they even said live, like, yeah, we're not going to play Dust 2 anymore because we keep dropping the ball. And then it still came into play.
Yeah, we got a bit surprised by that one, so sometimes you will be surprised, I guess.
You guys have been in a pretty good streak lately. It seems like you guys are getting better slowly but surely. How disappointing is it for you guys to leave the tournament already now? Is it a big deal? Is it okay given where you guys are, where you coming in as a coach and Kadian as an in-game leader, new player as well? Is it all right for the progress you're making, or would you like to go further in this tournament?
I think we showed on every single game we played this tournament that we could compete with all the teams. Astartes, G2, and we won against North as well. So overall, I think it's okay, but I think we could have won today as well. Like we could have won all the games in the group stage a few weeks ago.
Now, when it comes to your role, obviously your switching to coach was a move that was very applauded by the community. Without revealing too many secrets, can you explain to us a little bit what's your focus on, where you give the most input? Like, what is a normal day for you and the work that you do?
I think my normal day work is more like get the team on the same page, help Casper creating a good game plan, and overall I just try to help all the players mid-round and stuff like that.
It's not more than a few weeks ago, Nikolai, you and I were on Danish television and we talked about how hard it is to enable Kadian as this new in-game leader. How is it going, making him, the leader of the team and making him do the work and preparation coming into the games?
Yeah, we both know Casper. He's not the guy who wants to do the most preparation, but I think he started to be no, I think he started to become much better at that, and we are playing much more structured now, and that's good to see. And I think we are improving all the time, so we just need more time to compete with those teams.
Now, Hunden, how are you enjoying this role switch, and what have been some of the difficulties that you found doing it, or have you just found it easy? Is this just what you were born to do?
Yeah, I actually think it's pretty easy to have this role. It requires a lot of work outside of practice, but I like to do this part of the game. I like to work with the strats, watch demos and stuff like that. So I think this role fits me much better.
Is there anything different you were doing from now being a coach to what you were doing as an in-game leader? Or is it just like you're doing all the same, but you don't have to play?
Yeah, not really. I need to accept that Casper is the captain now, and he's doing all the mid-run calls and stuff like that. So I just have to trust him all the time. That's the most difficult one, I guess. But I'm learning every day.
That must be very difficult trusting Casper in that position.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like driving with a girl or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
On that note, before Hunden gets himself killed over here, I think we'll let the birthday boy go and enjoy the rest of his evening. Hunden, thank you very much for coming to talk to us, mate. Try and keep yourself safe, because he looks like a scary individual with his hood up behind you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Cheers, mate. You too. Always some antics in there, guys, just to have it all go down. Oh dear, you gotta love it. But for him, right, he seems very comfortable with his new role, and obviously he needs a bit more time to get settled in and change the things up within it. But if he's saying that Kadian's willing to put the work in now, that's definitely a positive sign.
Yeah, I was working with him 2 weeks ago on Danish television where we did a tournament together, and he was saying that, as he also said right here, that he likes the new job, right? He likes this role, and I think he can become a great coach for the future. I think he still needs to figure out, as he was also alluding to right here, the fact that he's not hands-on anymore. It's not him making the decisions mid-round. He doesn't have to play, obviously, on the server. His aim was never something to be proud of, but his understanding of the game and his calling and his instincts for when to do the right thing in the game, that's something he knew how to do. Now, the biggest and toughest thing for him, I guess, is to transfer that knowledge into Kadian, because Kadian is a very emotional guy as well, a guy that is very impulsive, I think, when he's playing Counter-Strike, and I don't think that, is going hand in hand with Hunden. So that whole, that's the aspect, that whole connection they need to build up in terms of making Heroic a great team, I think is a very interesting prospect. And as he said 2 weeks ago, it's probably going to be his biggest task in his entire career.
It's going to be a big learning curve for both of them, I'm sure. But it's time for us to get to the Corsair play of the day, and we get to see Config get the magic done here on Nuke.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, I'll talk this one through then, boys. You know what? You just want to be quiet for all of it,
Appreciate the show. I didn't want to ruin the moment.
I was just like watching it go down. Pimp said a little bit. I'm waiting for you, Maniac.
I didn't want to be the guy, It's the first time I worked even with you. I didn't want to be the guy who ruins it all. But yeah, we do see Config making plays with the AK, with the AWP, going through the smoke, through the HUD, through everything. Laying havoc. I mean, he's been one of the main force for Complexity recently, and he's a great player to watch when he's on point, because he has this devastating aim that not many players have. So sorry for letting you down, Banks. It won't happen again.
You never let me down, mate. You never let me down. But we got some bangers of a game to come up tomorrow. 3 more best of 3s, and we're going to be starting with Astralis taking on NiP. And this truly is a scary one, because we don't know what Astralis have been able to work on and fix. They certainly haven't looked hot, but we know what the individuals can deliver. And then we've got an NIP who, to me, are gradually, even if it's slowly, just getting better each and every official game they play with Hammers.
I'm super excited for tomorrow. I'm super excited to see NIP play again because you're right. I think they're getting better and better, and I think this whole NIP project, the fact that they're now finally building for the future. They and watch my mouth here saying this, Jacob. They got rid of Get Right. They got rid of Forest. They got rid of those old guys. And let's be honest, those guys are legendary players. We cannot take anything away from them. But looking into the future, even Maniac think I would agree with the sentiment that NIP, they needed to build for the future. They needed to find a new identity. That's exactly what they're doing right now, and it's a very interesting prospect. Nork, as you said, Maniac, a guy that potentially could be a superstar in the future. Plopsky already performing as a superstar. Twist, we know him to be one of the best, best players in FPL, one of the most skilled players when he's just playing a puck. If you can enable that level on a team like NIP, that'd be great. Now bring in a dedicated in-game leader as well. There's so many interesting storylines surrounding NIP that I'm just looking forward to see them play tomorrow. Astralis, though, that's not looking too good, but we'll have to wait and see what they come up with tomorrow.
That has to be the sound. That has to be. Listen, Astralis will always be a name that you want to put on the board as I've beaten them. Obviously, this is a weakened version of it right now. Not an easy scenario they're into. They've changed basically two of the most influential players they have. A great, dare I say, the greatest IGL there ever was in CSGO and Glaive, and then you have Zipix who plays so many different and difficult positions, and even though at the top of the scoreboard he isn't, sometimes his role is so impactful. So you change these two players and it cannot be easy. And it's even like a euphemism. It's actually really, really hard. So it's a hard time for them, and they are crossing NIP, who, as Jacob rightfully said, are looking stronger and stronger. So it feels weird to say that, but I think Astralis will lose to NIP. That's not a sentence I had said in a long time, but.
And the other two games, we're going to have G2 versus Na'Vi. We're definitely going to see Dust2 between them two. It's going to be 100% most. If we don't see it, I'll probably lose my mind. I don't want to see any more Dust2, but we'll probably get it. And then we get Big versus FaZe Clan. And just touching on that one real quick, it's a FaZe Clan that are looking better. BMAS has actually showed us he can hang at this level. But this is a Big that came out of nowhere to impress us when a lot of us thought this might not work.
Definitely, and if you had to pick two teams from the group stages, they were probably the two best playing teams. I think Big and FaZe are both candidates for that title. I think FaZe Clan, they were looking better and better, and again, they're growing with BMS, and now we actually get to see them play with him with a week of practice leading into this game. Hopefully, we're going to see them even better. Whereas for Big, I don't know what we expected of them coming into this tournament, but they were playing some very solid Counter-Strike in the group stages. All the games were close, but they managed to edge them all out. And Chance Harris, again, looking like a great player all of a sudden. If you can enable him and Tapson on the same team, we've been saying it for ages, Maniac, that team has a lot of potential, and that team has star power. So that could be a great game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Thurston is doing a lot of work on this big lineup. He's very aggressive. He takes all the responsibility with the shots. He literally gives them rounds when they need to. And when it comes to Xantares, I think it was Smuya who had an interesting tweet a few weeks ago who said, the Krieg being nerfed, now Xantares will be back. And I think there is some logic to it. I think there is some truth to it, because definitely Xantares was one of the most skilled rifler there is. M4 specifically, his ability to spray down targets with the M4 was insane. And then suddenly he had Creeks coming up against him who were just like, let me just run you're gonna die. So yeah, I feel like now he's really very much dangerous with the rifles. He's finding his groove with this Big, and they look super dangerous.
That match is certainly going to be a bloodbath. But before we get to that bloodbath tomorrow, we got to remember to thank all of the amazing sponsors that make the DreamHack Spring Masters possible. Corsair, Intel, Monster Energy, DTS, AT&T, and Betway. Without these guys, you guys wouldn't have the amazing action. You wouldn't have all the Counter-Strike to watch here. And hey, we're all thankful because we get to sit here all in different parts of the world. Actually, you two are both in Denmark thinking of this. Yeah, that just suddenly hit me in the head. Okay, yeah.
We're just going to go have a beer when we're done, mate. Right outside the house.
I'm not even going to disagree. Denmark's a pretty cool country. You can have this one this time around, Jacob. I'm not arguing with you, but what I'm going to do is end this show. It's end of the day. It's been the first playoff day. It has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for all of you guys watching and kicking it with us. We will see you tomorrow, same time as always, for more DreamHack Masters.